everyone, this is Nikki Burnette, and I wanted to make a video to show you how to use a technique while grayscale coloring to create multicolored hair. And this is a really fun technique. I've been dying to make a video to show you guys how to do it because it looks really difficult, but it's a lot easier than it looks. And it's a fun technique that you can use on hair. You can also use it on clothes or wherever you want to use it in your grayscale coloring. I'm going to show you the hair today. And basically you just fade one color to the next color to the next color. Some may call it an ombre effect or, just fading into one another. And here I'm going to show you how to do rainbow hair, but of course you can choose any colors that you like. You don't have to stick with the rainbow colors. This was just one of the colorings that I did of a rainbow fairy where I thought the technique was really easy to show you on her hair. So that's what we're going to do today. Let me just get a little close-up of her hair. I am going to be using colored pencils. I'm going to be using Lyra Rembrandt Polycolor colored pencils. They're one of my favorites to use over grayscale coloring. As you can see, they're nice and bright and vivid, and they also have a nice transparent quality to them so that the shadows show through nicely. So that's what we're going to be using today. What I did was I removed a grayscale coloring page from my book, and this fairy, her name is Brinley, and she is from volume 1 of my Spellbinding Images grayscale coloring book. And this is available on Amazon. I also have printable versions in my Etsy shop, and I'll put all the links below. So what I did was I removed the coloring page from the book. I prefer to color on a hard surface like a drawing board or something like that. I find it's a little easier to bear down with the colored pencils and get them to really be nice and dark and vivid. So I just removed it from the book, tidied up the edge over here, and then we're ready to color. So let me show you the colored pencils that we're going to be using, and I'll put all these colors below so you don't have to worry about remembering them. But we're going to start with the dark Carmine, which is the red color at the top of her hair. And then I'll go through the rest of the colors as we start with them. Now I'll just show you the reference image one more time. I'm going to be using it as my guide when we go along. I'm going to just show you these like 2 sections all the way down instead of doing all her hair because it would be a really long video. But once you see me do these 2 sections down here, I think you'll get a pretty good idea of how to do the other parts like her clothes and her skirt and everything. So let me move my camera down because I want you to be able to see as I'm working here. There we go. And we're going to be using one main technique while I'm doing this grayscale coloring. Let me see if I can come down even a little bit more here. There we go. We're going to be using petroleum jelly, and you can find this at your local retail store. It's Vaseline. This is just the name brand petroleum jelly. And you're going to dip the tip of your pencil, just the very tip, into the petroleum jelly. And this is to help blend as you're coloring. Sometimes you color with colored pencils and you notice a lot of white marks on your paper, and that's because it needs to be blended. And this allows the colored pencil to easily fill in all the tooth of the paper. So let's see here if I can get a little bit closer there for you. So you're going to color pretty hard. I would say I use a medium to firm pressure. When you color with a colored pencil, try experimenting on a separate piece of paper. And I would say that I color as dark as the colored pencil goes. I like my pieces nice and bright and vivid, and this is how I achieve that look. So as you can see, I'm coloring right over the grayscale image, and you'll see that the colored pencil chips away a little bit like that. I keep a napkin handy and just wipe that off every once in a while so that it doesn't smear your coloring. So I'm going to dip my pencil again in the Vaseline, and you can kind of see it feel it start to drag a little bit on your coloring, so you know that it's time to reapply the petroleum jelly. So as you can see, I'm coloring right over the grayscale image here. And you really don't have to be that, I want to make sure that you're seeing this here. You really don't even have to be that neat and tidy. You can work in circles or lines. As long as you use the petroleum jelly, I find that you don't really see the pencil strokes that much. Coloring over grayscale is actually very forgiving. This would actually look quite different if you were coloring on a white, just a plain white piece of paper. But as you can see, the lyras are quite transparent while still being vivid, which is great for grayscale coloring because all those shadows just show right through the red colored pencil here that I'm coloring with. So I'm just going to keep working, again, coloring pretty hard. With the lyras, they're quite a hard colored pencil. They are an oil-based colored pencil. So I find you really don't have to sharpen them that much. And I'm just consulting my reference image here so that I know how far to carry down the red. It's kind of to this first little crease in her hair. So let me just sort of finish this red section here. Okay. There we go. And as you get to the end of the red section, kind of lighten your pressure a little bit because you're going to want to blend in the next color. So you don't want it super dark, but it usually works pretty good any way you do it. So we're going to do the orange next, and this is another Lyra pencil. It's just called dark orange. So again, dip it into the petroleum jelly, and what you're going to do is color right on top of that red section that you just did, and you're just going to blend the two colors together just a little bit. And since you're in such a dark area of the grayscale image right here, you don't even really need to try to blend that much because it's not that noticeable. So you can just keep on working down the image here. Sometimes if it's a lighter area, you can work back and forth with the colored pencil, like switch back to the red and color over it, and then switch it back to the orange and color over that transition area again, just to sort of blend it. But as you can see, you don't really need to do that with this particular grayscale image. And you know, I have a lot of people that watch my tutorials and say, I tried your technique and it just didn't work for me. And I want to say that a lot of the techniques I use work the best on the grayscale images that are in my beginner's book. I made them nice and dark for a reason, because it makes things like this really super easy, so you don't have to do much shading at all because the shadows show through. If you try this on a lighter grayscale image, you're going to notice you're going to have to do a lot of shading to really make those hair strands pop out and have more contrast in your coloring. So this really works best on darker grayscale images, and I would recommend this for the beginner's edition of the book, but give it a try in the advanced edition or other lighter grayscale images that you have. You'll just have to add, darker shades of the color to really make the texture of the hair. So here we're reaching the end of the orange section, so I just lightened my pressure a little bit because we're in a lighter area right here, and just kind of feathered it down a little bit. Now we're going to switch to Lemon, another Lyra colored pencil there. And since this is a light one, a light color, I really like to make sure the tip of the pencil is nice and clean. So I just kind of wipe it on my napkin because any other colors that you pick up on it is going to show up on your coloring. So dip your pencil in the Vaseline again and color right over that orange. And you can see it just sort of blends effortlessly on the grayscale. It's just really quite magical and really fun to do. It doesn't take a lot of effort with the shading and everything. You can just create really neat effects like this really quick and easily. So let me just get this really close up so you can see that transition area. See if my camera will focus. See, I just blended those areas together, and it just sort of goes from orange to yellow. And see my pencil, it picked up some of that orange color. I don't think it's going to focus on there, but just make sure to keep wiping your pencil off because you don't want to get any of that on the rest of your colors. So let's see, I'm going to carry the yellow down a little bit through her wings here. The hair actually can be seen through her wings because she has transparent dragonfly wings. So I'm going to lighten my pressure a little bit because it's not going to be quite as dark through her wings because of course you're going through something, so it's going to be a little bit lighter in color. So next we're going to go to green. I'm using, let's see here, Viridian, another Lyra pencil. So again, dip your pencil in the Vaseline and just color right over the yellow area here. And again, I'm using a lighter pressure. I don't want a really super vivid green because, again, it's going through her wings. So let's see here, just like that. Okay, now if you can see, I want to get a close-up of this. You can sort of see the tooth of the paper there because I was coloring a little lighter. So I'm just going to reapply the Vaseline on the tip of the pencil and sort of go over this area again, rubbing just a little bit harder because I want to fill in all those white areas that are on the paper, and the Vaseline just really helps a lot with that. Just be patient and sort of, I'm kind of doing little small circles here. Okay, so as you can see, the second time around, I filled in those areas quite a bit. And what I'm going to do now, because I don't want to darken it too much with the green, but I do want to blend the colors together a little bit more, so I'm going to switch back to my yellow. And I'm just going to work right over that area again. I find when you're doing this, you don't really have to apply the petroleum jelly to the pencil again because it's already pretty slick. So just kind of work those two colors together there. Okay, and then we're going to continue on down. Let's see here. Just going to color a little bit of the green right here. You can kind of see her hairline back there behind the wings. Okay, and that's about as far as I want to go with the green. So now we're going to switch to the light blue color. It's called light blue. And just continue on down her hair. There we go. So now we're done with the behind the wing area and can continue on the regular area. I really was excited when I discovered this was such an easy thing to do. I was just sort of experimenting one time on one of my images and playing around with a skirt and discovered how effortlessly all these colors just sort of blend together with the grayscale coloring. And I just was really happy with the way that it looked, and I'm so excited that I get to share it with all of you. So that's about as far as we want to go with the light blue. So we're going to switch to the dark blue. And this pencil is called Prussian blue. So again, dip it into the petroleum jelly. Color slightly over that light blue color just to blend them together. And this time I'm actually going to swap back to the light blue and just go over it one more time just to sort of blend it all together there. Okay, and then back to the dark blue, or I guess it's called, sorry, Prussian blue. And continue on down these strands of hair. Okay, and when you get to the end, and if you're in a light area, especially when you're working on hair like this, leave your transition area jagged a little bit instead of a straight line, because they'll blend together a little bit easier. Actually, I'm going to take this down just a little bit further before I switch to the purple, But sometimes if you leave a really straight line, you're going to find it hard to sort of blend the two together because your eyes will always see that super straight line. So leave it a little jagged. And now we're going to switch to the purple. This is actually called Magenta, but it is more of a dark purple color. So again, oops, got too much there. Let me wipe some off. Okay. I'm going to turn the paper, sorry, just a little bit here so it's a little easier to color and for you to see. Anytime you feel that the pencil's just not blending quite well on the paper and is leaving some of that tooth, just reapply the petroleum jelly. Okay. And we're almost done here. You can see that this took maybe 10 minutes to do this small section, and it looks like it probably would have taken hours, and that's all because of the magic of grayscale coloring. It's really quite amazing how quickly and easily it all comes together and just has such a neat look to it. I just enjoy it so much. And there we go. That is... See, it starts from red to orange to yellow to green to light blue, dark blue, and purple. And hopefully you can see, just having watched me do these two strands, you could continue this technique throughout the coloring or using different colors or wherever you'd like to use it. And as you can see, there's a little bit of petroleum jelly on the paper. The best way that I found to soak this up is lay a napkin over your coloring when you're done with it for the night and place something heavy on top. Leave it overnight, and then in the morning you'll find that it's soaked most of that petroleum jelly up. If there's any left on your paper, just dab it up with a napkin. Don't wipe it because you'll smear or lift up your colors. So that's the easiest way I've found to get rid of it. So, you know, and then you just kind of keep working with the coloring and you end up something like this. It's really fun and I think you'll really enjoy it. I hope you'll give it a try. And again, I'll put all the links below to my books, to the supplies that I've used, and on my website there is a coloring gallery. I'd love for you to share your colorings with everybody. And I really hope you enjoyed this video. I have a lot more tutorials on my channel. I hope you'll subscribe and take a look. Thanks so much for watching.